Hello everybody, welcome once again to another video. I'm Bace Jeleren'S, and today we are finally filming my celebratory 500 subscriber Q&A video. Yay! Thank you very much to everybody who submitted questions. Thank you very much for the validation. It soothes me. So I'm just going to get right into these questions. My laptop's right here, so that's where I'm going to be referring to them. And we're going to be starting with MSK OJ's questions. So let me wet my whistle, this is going to be a long video. So, his first question is, how long have you been collecting manga? And this is a question that I've already sort of got into in a couple of videos, but I'm very happy to answer. I've been collecting since I was 12. I sort of bought the random Dragon Ball Z volume here and there when I was in my youth, but I didn't officially start, like, actively collecting manga until I was 12 in middle school with Tokyo Mew Mew, and it led to this disaster. It led to all this fucking mess, so yeah, I've been doing this for over a fucking decade. Does your husband have a YouTube channel? He does, but he does not use it. He used to stream on it, but his PlayStation account got locked out from his YouTube account. He uses Twitch now, though, so if you want, I will link down below to his Twitch channel if you want to go watch him scream at some video games with his friends and drink alcohol, if you are so inclined. How many pets do you have, and do they like manga too? I own 2 cats, and we live with a dog who you probably have heard in my videos once or twice. My older cat, her name is Baby, and I've had her since I was a wee little lass, since I was a kid. She's like a 15-year-old fucking cat, and she is ancient, and I feel like she just tolerates the clutter, because she's old. But I also have a younger cat. Her name is Aretha. She's the one who appears in my videos the most. She's the fuzzy black cat, the fuzzy black void that sometimes appears in my videos. And sometimes, at the middle of the night, she will jump onto these shelves and knock all this manga off. So I will wake up and there'll be some manga all over the fucking floor. So suffice to say, she might not actually like it. It's in her way. Next is DBZ boss? Well, Dragon Ball Z is pretty much the reason I'm here. I wouldn't have really gotten into anime and manga if not for Dragon Ball Z, if not for my obsession with a kid in elementary school who liked Dragon Ball Z, and the only way to his heart was to also get into Dragon Ball Z. Did not work, but got me into shit. So, yeah, DBZ is pretty cool. Dragon Ball Z is fucking boss. Next question is, do you have any figure or anime merch? And you'll see above me, right up here, this shit ain't manga. This is all Gunpla. We have a lot of Gunpla. It's mostly my husband's. It's definitely more of a hobby of his, and it's a hobby of mine. I have built a few in my lifetime, but definitely not as much as him, and this isn't even all of it. We have about 2 fucking stacks outside that come up to about my waist. And we have 1 perfect grade, and that fucking box is massive, and there's nowhere to put it without it being in the way. But yeah, for the most part, we have like the odd plushie stacked around here and there. See some fucking merch around, but for the most part, it's a whole fuck ton of Gunplas, my guy. Next question is Logan Paul versus KSI, and I don't really care. I really don't. Like, I couldn't give a fart about any of that. Sorry. Number 7 is, who is funnier, Jen Graves or Bizarre Individual? I see what you're doing here. I see you trying to start drama in my Q&A video, fucker. But I feel like Jen Graves and Bizarre Individual are, I don't mean this in like a bad way, I don't mean to sound like insulting, but I feel like they're 2 flavors of the same guy. They definitely both have their same tastes and their same styles, but at the same time, they're kind of similar in how they do their shit. I feel that's just me though. So they're both pretty equally cool in their own right. So yeah, not pitting people against other people in my Q&A today. No. Number 8. Did you ever have an end goal for collecting? I don't fucking know. Obviously not. I never really thought, like, eventually I'm just gonna stop doing this. It was like, as soon as I started buying manga, it was like, we're just gonna keep buying until we die. Until this collection inevitably kills me. So, death. My end goal for collecting is death. Next is all your manga in that closet? Yes. There is not a lot of space out here. There's not a lot of storage out here in the actual room. It's all in here. I tried to, like, keep my madness in one place, and I don't want to, like, put it on display. I want to keep it contained, I guess. Maybe to make himself seem a little more normal if people come in my room and it's all like, oh, you don't have billions of fucking books, and it's like, surprise, motherfucker, they're all in my closet. Also, collection tour. I'm actually planning on doing a collection tour either at the end of the year or the beginning of next year. And this last year, I did a collection video that spanned like 8 or 9 videos, and it was kind of ridiculous. And it took up a lot of time, and now I have a lot more books, and doing that style of very in-depth collection touring will take forever. So my plans for my next collection tour, it's going to be a basic, really kind of bland overview of, like, I have all this. But consider it sort of a catalog for if you see a manga that you want me to go into more depth in that collection tour when I film it, you can leave, like, a comment in the description below, and I will make a video talking about the manga that people are the most interested in. So we can all have our cake and eat it too. I can make a collection video that isn't going to take me several months, and you all can hear me talk about manga that you want to hear me talk about. So yeah, that's the plan. Those are the plans. Watch out for that shit. Next, should we buy hentai manga? Is it worth it? I cannot in my right mind recommend hentai to people. If you want to buy porn, if you want to invest your money in hentai, that is your business. I cannot recommend hentai. Do not buy hentai because I buy hentai. I've moved all my like Faku books right here, by the way. Don't buy hentai because I buy hentai. Don't use me as an excuse to go out and buy porn. Make that decision yourself. Really, like, actually, like, think, like, do I want to buy, like, explicit manga? Because that is your decision and your decision alone. And also, only buy it if it's, like, you know, legal. I don't want any 13-year-olds following me, like, oh, she bought some fucking booby manga. Let's also buy the booby manga. Don't. But yeah, that is your own business. Whether or not it's worth it is completely up to you. Whether or not you want to buy it is totally your choice. It's not mine. What is the biggest fucking volume you own? In terms of sheer page count, that is, the Death Note All-in-One edition, all 12 fucking volumes compressed into one single book. But in terms of actual scale, I probably have to say, like size, like dimensions, it's probably either Robot Super Color Comic or Blam, I think, are the larger ones in my collection. What is the smallest ass volume I own? I gotta go get it, because she's in here somewhere. I just gotta go find her. She is so small. That's, DG Carrot, Champion Cup Theater. It is small as shit. It's very, very thin. It's about, like, almost, like, a little bigger than my hand. She's very tiny. And the reason I pulled her out is, the next question, it's not really a question, it's more of a command, and it's to drop either the largest or the smallest. And I live second floor in an apartment building, so I don't want to cause any disturbance, so ta-da! Next question is, do you con it out or do you go to conventions? And I try to go to at least one convention a year to some capacity. For the most part, I go to the local convention here in Denver, and that is MondesCon. But every once in a blue moon, we're able to scrape together enough money and the plans align, the planets align with all of our friends, and we can all go to Anime Expo together like we did this year. And next year, going to be a little different. I don't think we're actually going to be able to afford to go to a convention, because next year, I'm actually going to Japan. Mostly for tourism reasons, because I'm a fucking weeb, and it's every weeb's dream to go to Japan, but also, I have in-laws now in Japan, and, including an elderly grandmother, and I think it's best to go and visit her while she's still around. I mean, it would be best for me to meet all of Shinichi's family, because Shinichi's immediate family, Shinichi's mom and dad and his siblings are the only members of his family that live here in America. Everybody else lives in Japan. So we're going to go to Japan to meet his family, but also just fuck around in Japan as much as we can. We're going to go to a lot of the Gundam hotspots, because that's Shinichi's MO. But yeah, Shinichi's family actually lives in Saga, Japan, so we're taking notes from Zombieland Saga, because that's just secretly a Saga tourism anime. Next is, do you cosplay ever? I have, and every single time I have, I will put together a cosplay, and I'll be like, this is good. I'm happy with this, and I will go out into the world and exist among actual human people in my costume, and I'll come back, and I'll look at the pictures that I took, and I'll, look at, all the pictures that I took of myself, and I will want to die. I don't have the face, I don't have the body, there's just something about me that's just just a little awkward, too awkward for me to try and pull off cosplay, but there's always, something inside me that's I really want to cosplay. But I've been trying to narrow it down into cosplay that's a lot more easier for me to do, cosplay that will look a little, more natural on me. So, the plan now is, if I'm ever to put shit together, if I'm ever able to just haul out, a sewing machine and just do whatever the fuck, I'd probably do, 4 from Drakengard 3, because 4 is best girl, don't at me, I'm right, and I know it, and you know it, in your heart. Next is, do you coldplay ever? No, I don't. I don't coldplay ever. But yeah, that was all of Ameskio J's questions, and now we're going to move into Marostopopoulos' questions, who asked me a lot of, actual, serious questions. I really do appreciate, the down-to-earth questions that he bothered to ask. And the first one is, do you plan on having children in the future? And if so, do you think they could make you reevaluate your priorities and quit reading manga? I do want to have at least one kid. That's the goal, is to sire one child. Because I think that's all I'll be able to take. But I do want to have kids with Shinichi. Kid or kids, I don't know my capacity yet. But it will definitely make me reevaluate my collecting habits, for sure. Kid will 100% take precedence over all this, but I will not stop reading manga. That's too much a part of my lifestyle to just drop manga cold turkey. I've seen people who are actually literally parents who have actual manga collection channels, and they do like collect manga, but not at like the scale that I do, of course. But they do. There are parents out there who do run manga tube channels, and so it is possible to raise child and/or children and still read manga. So, when I have a kid, this will definitely not grow as fast as it has. My buying habits will definitely be affected by literal small human being, but I definitely probably won't stop, like, cold turkey stop reading manga. That I don't see that happening. I don't see me or my husband completely 100% dropping our hobbies, but child definitely takes precedence. That's number one rule. Number 2, what is the reason you hardly read American comics? Because you don't like them as much, or because manga already takes up too much of your time, money, energy? Like I showed off in my last haul video, I do collect American and Western comics. Just not as much as manga, like obviously. I do have a small collection, and I do want to make like a small like comic collection tour one of these days, but maybe not. Maybe soon, because there's a couple more I want to get before I show off the collection. But my absolute favorite Western comics are gotta be Saga, The Wicked and the Divine, and it's not an American comic, it's an Italian comic, and it's called Sky Dolls. Fucking love Sky Dolls, 100%. Also, Sunstone. Sunstone is probably my favorite Western comic of all time. I live, eat, and breathe Sunstone, and I cannot wait for January because the next volume is coming. I've been waiting literal fucking years for this one, my lads. I'm just so excited. Next is, are you aware of the Fantagraphics comic book Mega Hex? I have not, but I looked at the art. It looks interesting. If there is a physical copy, I might look into it. Looks like a lot of jokes, and I like me some jokes. A cliche one, but very informative. If you would be stranded on a desert island, which manga series or book would you prefer to have with you? This is a very basic bitch answer, I know, but I'd probably want to have Goodnight Poon Poon. It's a longer series. It has a lot of readability, like, just overall. It's definitely something that I'd like to read over and over again. It's definitely one of those manga where the more times you read it, like, each experience is a lot different than the last. But yeah, I'd probably want to bring Goodnight Poon Poon if I'm ever the wherewithal to just bring Goodnight Poon Poon with me wherever I go and just happen to be stranded on a desert island. Probably that. And what are some of your realistic goals, i.e. bigger house, children, a better job, more income, or are you satisfied as is? One of my main, like, realistic goals is I want to go back to school. Because, as stupid as I am, I actually did go to college at one point, but I went because, well, I originally wanted to go for art, but my whole entire family was all like, don't go to school for art, you'll graduate from college, and you'll have no jobs, and you'll make no money, and you'll be a starving artist, and we don't want that for you. But then my dad was all like, you should go into graphic design. I mean, that's kind of like art, right? Yes, but also no. I can draw me a mean, big titty anime girl, cannot design a webpage. Definitely not my cup of tea. I went to school for several years, and I did that song and dance, and I hated it. Not because school isn't for me. In fact, when I dropped out, I had a 4.0. I was on the fucking president's list. But that was because I was avoiding all of my actual graphic design classes. I was acing all of my, like, general ed, all my core classes. But, yeah, I hated all of my graphic design classes. They were not for me. It was not my kind of degree that I wanted to pursue. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. And then I realized, because I was paying for college out of pocket, it was completely 100% me going into debt and paying for an education for a degree that I didn't know what to do with, that I had no interest in. And I realized this, like, halfway through my, like, college education. I was like, I should not continue to get a degree for something that I'm not interested in and have no idea how to pursue. So I kind of dropped out, sadly. But yeah, my main goal is to definitely return to school and get, at the very least, so a degree that's will look good on a resume, not something that's like really big or like a trade. Something like an English degree, something that'll just look nice. Like, oh, you got a degree, that's cool. You can type nice. But yeah, definitely want to go back to school. Next we got some questions from Bizarre Individual. I know I have like a couple more from him somewhere. Okay, there they are. Okay. They're in two different spots on this comment section, so I'm jumping. His first question is, where/how did you meet your hubby? Me and my husband met in the way back yesteryear of 2005 when I first got into high school. That's right, folks. Me and my husband are high school sweethearts. We dated for a year in high school, and then we broke up because I didn't know how to fucking date. And then I should make a whole entire fucking video about our romantic exploits in high school because it is fucking hilarious. But at one time, I will tell you that I actually convinced one of his girlfriends to break up with him and then date me, and then we dated for 2 years. But yeah, me and my husband have actually known and or dated each other since 2005. Like I said, we dated for a year in high school. We broke up, but we were friends until 2012, and then we started dating again. And then we got engaged, I think, 4 years after that. So, yeah. And then we got married 2 years after that, I think. No, it was 3 years after we got engaged, and then 2 years after that we got married. Yes. Yes. But yeah, we've known each other for a very, very long time. Not a lot of, relationships are like that, I know. It's a weird ideal to marry one of your best friends, but yeah, that's what happened. That's the story. If you had to sell off all your manga, what would you replace the money with? Probably clothes. Like, to be quite honest, I've been wearing the same shit for years. I would like to have a whole new fucking wardrobe. I'd like to go and create the ideal aesthetic that I wish to pursue, but I probably would never actually sell all my manga for clothes. But if I were to, if I had to, it would probably be for clothes, because I want new look. I want new looks. I want fresh new looks, everybody. What other things on YouTube do you like watching other than manga? I like ASMR videos. I fucking dig the shit out of ASMR videos. I follow so many ASMR channels. I also like Jenna Marbles. Jenna Marbles is queen. Fucking love her. But yeah, mostly ASMR and just general commentary channels, stuff like that. Number 4 is, what not normal TV shows do you watch? I don't watch a lot. I don't want to seem like, oh, I only watch anime. I just don't watch a lot of shows, like, in general. Don't have a lot of time to sit in front of that old television. But I really fucking love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I like American Horror Story when I can get around to binging the shit out of it, because I don't watch it when it's airing. I think that's it. I think that's all I fucking watch, my dudes. I mean, I watch a hell of a ton of movies, but TV, not so much. Besides work, what are some things that keep you from reading manga more, takes up your time? Just general, just like socializing, of course. I have a lot of friends in the area and they like to hang out and play like D&D and shit. But also, like now, more recently, art commissions. I do a lot of art commissions, and the way I do them, it's very time consuming. I use MS, no, don't judge me. Go to my fucking Twitter and look at my shit. I've been slaving over a fucking potato for fucking years. I use MS Paint for all of my art commissions, and it has almost none of the quality of life shit that a lot of other more advanced art programs have, so it takes me a lot longer for me to make art for people. So if I'm not making YouTube videos and if I'm not hanging out with people, I'm hunched over my fucking computer arting on the fucking MS Paints, doing the shits. Will you ever make an anime video collection? I don't have a lot of anime. I have maybe half a shelf's worth of anime. I set it all up outside just to make sure. Most of it's anime movies. I don't have a lot of series. Not a very big anime buyer, not a very big anime watcher. I'm more of a manga person. Manga, even though, you know, I buy whole lots, so it doesn't really fucking matter, but individually, if you buy, like, manga's a little more cheaper in terms of just that shit. But, the favorites out of the ones that I own are probably Yurikuma Arashi, Steins Gate, Azumanga Daioh, and that's about it. I mean, I have a lot of other ones, but those are probably my go-to faves, for sure. Favorite thing to eat for, and this is a list, breakfast, pancakes. Fucking love pancakes. I don't care what's in those pancakes. I don't care if they're plain. I don't care if they got all kinds of shit in there. Fucking pancakes. Fucking rock my fucking world. Lunch. I don't eat lunch. To be quite honest, lunch is often a meal that I skip over. It's usually, just snacking is what lunch is. Just snacks. It's not really food. Favorite dinner food? Curry? Like, any kind of curry. Like Indian curry, Japanese curry. I fucking love curry. Curry is fucking delicious, and it's wonderful and good, and I love it so much, regardless of, like, the area of the world it comes from. Just pour that shit on top of rice. Like, yes. Curry is my ultimate comfort food. Favorite snack? Probably have to be, and I never am able to find them, like, ever. Like, I have, like a Japanese, like, not Japanese, Asian grocery store I go to sometimes, and they never have it. They only ever carry it every once in a while, and they don't have it, but I fucking love umaibos. Especially the, like, the corn, porridge flavor umaibos are my fucking shit. I will eat a whole fucking bag of corn porridge umaibos. Oh, shit. A favorite drink? Probably, Mountain Dew Kickstart. I just fucking, I don't know. It's good. But favorite alcoholic drink? I am not very picky. I'm not a very big fan of anything that's entirely too hoppy in terms of just general just beer and shit. I do enjoy me a nice hard cider, but in terms of hard liquor, I'm not a fan of anything super strong. I'm definitely one of those, just so long as it tastes vaguely of fruit types, or chocolate. But yeah, before anybody judges me like, oh, you only drink girly fruity drinks. Those girly fruity drinks have a lot more alcohol content than your fucking beer, so shut up. I want to get smashed on apple martinis. Leave me alone. What is something that you like to do that pisses off your husband? I meme too hard. What I mean is that I find a joke or a meme that I really like, and I will work it into everything. Sometimes go overboard. Like, we'll be at a drive-thru, and we'll pull up, and the person at the other end will be like, can you hang on a second? And I'll be like, yeah, and I'll be over there like, hello, Mr. Obama? Hello? And Shinichi will be like, fucking stop. Like, I sometimes go a little overboard with the memes. So, yeah, if there's one thing that I do that annoys the shit out of him, it's meme the fuck out of everything. Even when it's inappropriate, like, say at a drive-thru, or in a public place where no one will understand when I tell fucking jokes. What is something that you guys have most in common? Me and Shinichi have little things in common. We like the same, like, shows, we like the same artists, we like the same manga, but I think the biggest thing we have in common is that we are two very big bi disasters. Like, very distinctly, like, an example is that, we were at Anime Expo this year, and it was right after we found this perfect fucking Goro Majima cosplayer, and he had to take off his jacket, and he was just completely just pants, but bare chest, and this dude was built very nice. To put it weakly, very nice. So we take this dude's picture, and me and she leave. It's utter complete silence, and this is like the second to last day, and we're walking, and he's all like, everyone here's too hot. And I'm like, yes, everyone here's too hot. And he's like, I'm dying. And I'm like, yeah, I'm also dying. Me and my husband are two big, bold bisexuals, and sometimes just the bonding moment when we both are like, everybody's too hot, and he's like, yeah, like, it's just very magical when we both get to talking about how everybody's just too fucking hot. But yeah, that's probably, like, the thing that we have the most in common is that we're both bisexual. Which, I know it's all like, oh, just fucking stop having your whole sexuality be such a major part of your identity. Like, shut up. The fact that I'm a bisexual disaster is definitely a part of my personality. Like, I can't stop it. Girls are too hot. Next is questions from Always Reading Something, and first one is, I've only just started reading Yuri. Congratulations, welcome. Do you have any recommendations that aren't well known, things other than Citrus and Girlfriends? Yes, you've come to the right place. I can recommend so much Yuri. First would probably have to be, if you want to start a little light, something a little more realistic, something more grounded, probably have to be Sweet Blue Flowers, which is a 4-volume omnibus. It is complete. There are 2-in-1 omnibuses. Did I say that? I think I did. Kase-san and. The Kase-san and series is fucking delicious. It is wonderful. I highly recommend it. Volume 5, I think the last volume is coming out next year in like February, I think, or March, sometime around that time. Kase-san and, definitely 100% look into that. That is some wonderful shit, and if you can stand maybe a little bit of clumsy translating, because that's what it's kind of infamous for, if you can look past a rough translation, something not quite perfect, I would go with Whispered Words, which is a 3-volume omnibus series from One Piece Books. That is a wonderful, just cute, slow burn. It is wonderful, and I love it very much. So yeah, those are my recommendations. I, of course, recommend all Yuri. Like, if you see Yuri, buy it. It's good. Girls kiss. It's great. But yeah, those are probably my faves after Girlfriends, of course, but you've already mentioned that. Do you have any storage recommendations for manga, as I've run out of shelf space? I am in the same predicament. We are both in that same pickle, and I feel like there's going to come a time in anybody's collection career where you realize that you've run out of space, and you either have to put shit into storage, whether that just be in boxes under your bed, or actual, like, if you're an adult and you live an adult life, a storage unit. There's going to be a time where you have to do either that, or you have to embrace the chaos, because that's that's it for you. The space is limited, and if anybody can please help us, poor people with too few shelf space, because my only suggestion is to either accept it and just embrace chaos, or maybe get like a plastic tub if you don't want to like actually 100% remove some manga from like your living quarters, and maybe store it under your bed. Manga that you don't normally read very often, manga that you don't mind not being displayed. Definitely look into just putting shit away if you've run out of shelf space. But yeah, that's my only fucking piece of advice, because I am trash and a mess, and no one should come to me for advice. And number 3 is, are there any manga you regret buying? If there's ever a manga that I regret buying, it usually gets sold. One way or another, eventually it gets removed. I don't keep manga that I regret buying in my collection. If I have any, like 100% do not want it here at all, it does not last. I do have manga that I am sort of like ashamed to have. Like, if I invite friends over, I'm like, ignore that. Pretend that one isn't there. Probably, like, the manga that I would have a hard time explaining to people why it's there is probably things like Strawberry Marshmallow, all of my hentai, A Girl on the Shore, stuff that's kind of gross in a way. But yeah, probably nothing that I regret, because anything that I regret does not stay. But things that I'm sort of all like, I keep it around for sentimental reasons. Yeah, there's that. And finally we have a question from Lythus, and it's, what is your favorite kind of setting for a manga? And I am a basic bitch, and I just like the fantasy setting. I like the classic D&D fantasy setting. Not like fantasy, but it's dark, because before anybody goes into the comments like, you should read Berserk if you like fantasy, like, no, fuck you. But I just like a nice, fun fantasy romp. Like, that's all I'm asking for. Just like some knights, some mages, some elves, some dwarves. Go on an adventure. Ideally, like, my ideal manga is like, it's a fantasy adventure, but also lesbians. But let's be honest, that's not a surprise. But yeah, that was all the questions. We are done with this Q&A. This is the probably 4th or 5th time I've tried to film this video in the course of several days. So yeah, we're done. It's done. I'm fucking finished. This is great. I can go back to not giving a shit about anything. So yeah, that is it for the Q&A. Thank you all very much for asking questions. Thank you for making this video possible, and thank you very much to subscribing to me. The fact that I'm over 500 subscribers, it's a very small number overall, but it's still very cool to me. So yeah, thank you all very much for supporting me and watching my videos and leaving comments and questions. Love you all. You are all very, very sexy, very beautiful people, inside and out, and I love all of you, and I can't wait to see you in the next video, whenever that may be. Bye!